In this video we're going to be identifying whether a given coordinate lies on a particular straight line graph. So before we start on the algebra to do that by hand, you do need to remember and refresh your memory that in a coordinate the first number represents an x value and the second number represents a y value. So in this case our x value is 3 and our y value is 5. So once we've worked that out, then we can move on to the method of really identifying whether that point is on that line or not. So one method of doing that is to substitute the x value into our equation. So our equation is y equals x plus 2. If we substituted in x equals 3 into that equation, we would end up with y equals 3 plus 2, or y equals 5, and we can see that in our coordinate y in fact does equal 5. So we could say yes, that point 35 is on the line. A slightly different method, it's not very different, a little tiny bit different, is if we were to substitute both values into that equation at once and see whether we create a true statement. So it's a tiny little variation on that method. So if I was to substitute the y value in, which is 5, and then the x value also, which is 3, you can see there that I have created a true statement. 5 does equal 5. That is true. That means that the point is on the line. Okay. If I was to do that on the calculator, I think the easiest way to do that is visually. I like to see the picture. So on a graphs page, which you may not have used before on your calculator, in the home screen, the second little blue graph page there, if you click on that one, you'll open and access a graph page. And you can see up the top there is the graph entry line, and it is a bit different to what we have on our page. We've got y equals x plus 2. This little notation up the top here is function notation. It basically just means a function in terms of x. For now, if you just imagine that says y equals, you'll learn more about that later, but it's good enough at the moment, I think, to just imagine that that says y equals. And we need to type in x plus 2. So y equals f of x equals x plus 2. And when I hit enter, I can actually see visually what that line looks like. And what I want to be able to tell is whether the point 35 is on here somewhere. So the easiest way to do that, I think, is to go into your menu, choose trace, and then graph trace. And you'll see that the calculator puts a little target on the line. I could, if I wanted to, use my right and left arrows to move that target along the line. But I think the easiest method is to move it straight to the point on that line where the x coordinate is 3. So what I need to tell the calculator is to move that target to where x equals 3 on that line. And to do that, all I need to do is type in the number 3. And as I type in just the number 3, nothing else, you can see that the calculator understands that to mean x equals 3. Hit enter, and the calculator moves that target directly to that point on the line where the x coordinate is 3. If you hit enter again, it will label the point for you, and you can see that the point 3, 5 in fact is on that graph. So we'll do one more, and the next one is only slightly more difficult because there's a negative involved. Again, identify which is x and which is y. So our x coordinate is 2, our y coordinate is negative 10. And again, if I was going to do that algebraic substitution there, I could substitute my x value in. So the equation was y equals negative 2x plus 2. If I'm going to substitute the x value into that equation, 2, y is equal to negative 2 times 2 plus 2. Okay, so if I simplify that down, y equals negative 4 plus 2, for y is equal to negative 2. So negative 2 is not negative 10, so I can say definitely no, that point is not on the line. So 2, negative 10 is not on the line. If I did it by the other method, and I substituted in both values at the same time, I would end up negative 10 is equal to negative 2 times the x value is 2, plus 2. Negative 10 is equal to negative 4 plus 2. No, it is not. So this statement is false. Therefore, I know that the point is not on the line. So I'm happy that the point is absolutely not on the line. If I was going to do that on the calculator and check that, open up a new graph page so it's nice and clean slate. You've got no other graphs on there. You'll notice up in the top graph entry line there that now we're looking at F2 of x. And this just means graph number 2 in my calculator. So if you imagine that is y equals, for now, negative 2x plus 2, we get a look at what the graph looks like. I want to put my target on this graph again and see if I can move that target to where x equals 2. So menu, trace, graph trace, and the target's there. Move the target to x equals 2. Just type the number 2 and hit enter. It will move the target there. Hit enter again, it will label the point for you, and you can see the point on that graph where the x coordinate is 2 is not 2, negative 10. So either way, by hand, using algebra or using your calculator, simply one method there on the calculator. There's others as well, but I think that's the easiest one. Quite a simple task either way.